You're good. This is all. Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is your host, of course, Michelle Diamond, and we are here on In the House Media House Call with a special guest and a personal friend of mine, Dr. Khaled Williams. She prefers to go by Reverend C. Williams, as you can see, but it's just amazing to have her with us today. And, of course, In the House Media House Call is powered by Sapphire Emerald Magazine, in part with Next Level Promotion, and, of course, In the House Media. And, we are just appreciative. Welcome, Reverend Williams. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
You're
Thank you for having me.
very welcome. So, Reverend Williams, tell us a little bit about who Dr. Khaled Williams is.
Just a natural down-to-earth country girl.
Oh, a country girl, are we? Okay, well, Dr. Williams, of course, was born and raised in Georgia, and she's from that little town called Carrollton, Georgia, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about how you got into, metaphysical ministry.
Well, I was brought up in the church, raised Baptist, and kind of just worked my way through things and, started researching things on my own, not to mention going through some spiritual things in my personal life. So I just kind of gravitated to more spirituality than being in a Baptist or Methodist, a denominational
Right.
type.
Okay. I personally know Dr. Williams as well, and she has so many accolades. It would be ridiculous to sit here and run them all off, but she has many, many, many degrees and currently still working on many more. She is a go-getter, and I'm very proud of her. And that's the reason we wanted our viewers to get tapped in, to learn about Dr. Williams and see what it is, that took her on her journey. I know that, you do a lot. Tell us about healthy vibrational hormonal, environment. What is that?
Just your environment, the things that you allow in your space. You are responsible for not only your own personal energy, but the energy that you allow around you. So you always want to be in harmony, and on a positive, vibrational wavelength.
Okay. So I know that you created a lot of educational tools and systems to help people with that. Could you elaborate a little bit for us?
Well, I created this thing I call the vision mapping system. I have several workbooks that I've created to help people throughout their regular day-to-day, help them with their own personal growth, and to help them manifest things that they want in their personal lives, that they reach goals that they're trying to achieve, those types of things.
Okay, awesome. So those things are all amazing because we definitely need, a vision map. A lot of us, call them vision boards. They have
Right.
vision parties, and I know that you do vision mapping or life mapping. And why is there a difference for you with a vision board opposed to life mapping?
Well, a vision board, I don't like to call it a vision board because people have taken the term and made it into this thing that's, oh, it's just fun to do, to shoot the breeze and just, it's like a game to some people. But when you're trying to really focus on the things that you want in your life and where you're trying to go, things that you're trying to achieve, that's something to be taken seriously. So I like to call it vision mapping because you are mapping out and navigating your path through your life towards the things that you want.
Okay. And how important is that um, to a person's overall well being? Speaking to you, I know that you are very spiritual, and that is a part of your entire journey. How important is it with having a vision, map of your life? How does that balance with, mental health?
Because it balances with mental health, because a lot of times our mental health is compromised because we are stuck in situations we don't want to be in. We're doing things we don't want to do. We are living in other people's versions of us. So when you're mapping out things that you want in your own personal life, it's tailored to the things that you want as an individual, not so much what people think you should or should not be doing.
That is so true. Okay. So, your journey, you've been down so many paths, and I've known you a little bit over what, almost 15, 20? No, it's more than that. About 20 plus years, I should say.
Right.
We go back a long way, and it's definitely been a pleasure having you in my circle. A very inspiring woman, and I know that there's so much more to you coming. And with that, you are a woman that wears many hats. So tell us a little bit about exactly who Reverend Williams is, your journey to the woman that you are today.
Well, I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm all those things. It's hard to just put it into one category. I I grew up in a small town. I was raised by my mom. She was single. I have an older sister, and I have several brothers on my dad's side, and I love them all dearly. But being raised in a household that had a heavy Baptist influence, and being a lesbian, because that's part of me too, it was very difficult. I lost my mom when I was 17, the beginning of my senior year in high school, and that kind of set the tone for this entire path. Because when my mom passed, I was angry with God. So
Mm,
I had to, figure some things out for myself. And it took me a while, but, once I started researching things and ordering my steps, as my mom used to say, um, things kind of fell into place and I found my path.
that's great. I mean, that's just wonderful how you're able to, overcome a lot of things that, have transpired over the years. I know even, a few years ago, it still feels like yesterday when you lost your aunt, and I know she
Yeah.
played a huge part in your life. May she sleep in peace on JoJo. And I know, that she played a huge part in your upbringing, and helped molded you. So I
Yes, she
just
did.
want to commend you on the steps that you've taken, because, of course, a lot of people, encounter situations and they easily throw the towel in, but looking at you, and half the battles that you have overcome, we won't even elaborate on some of the things, but, you even took it a step further. You went into the corporate world. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the corporate world?
Well, I have a culinary degree, and I was an executive chef for Kroger's for, a while. And then I decided that after I started a culinary program and teaching culinary classes to kids, I decided, I needed to switch gears. I kind of got burned out on cooking. So I leaned on my master's degree in business, and I started working as a project manager for a company here down in Carrollton. And it's um, it's been rewarding, and it's had its challenging challenges, but I do it and I enjoy talking to people and being around people. So it still allows me to be around people and interact.
Okay. So how do you balance the two now, being a project manager for a huge company and, doing very well for yourself? How do you balance the two with your spirituality and being a metaphysical minister?
Um, my spirituality is first and foremost in my life. So anytime it's engulfed in everything that I do. So I don't have to, quote unquote, balance it. It just kind of works its way out. So I find myself ministering to some of the people that I encounter in my work, and it's not because I put it out there. It's just people are drawn to me in that aspect. So it kind of just works hand in hand.
Okay. Okay. Well, that is very commendable as well. Now, I know, and as we stated earlier, you have, a nice collector's wall, over there with, you know, your multiple certifications and degrees. Tell us a little bit about, your schooling and, how far you've come. I mean, I know that you're working on another doctorate, so, just let us know, what it is that keeps you so motivated in pursuing, you know, your beliefs to the highest level.
Well, in high school, I got a full basketball scholarship, and that kind of set the tone for school. But when my mom passed, it kind of threw me off, and it took me a couple of years, and then I just decided because JoJo cooked that I should cook. So I went to culinary school, and I was really good at it. I love to cook, so it's just something that I was brought up around. And then I decided, I wanted to be in business for myself, so that set the tone for learning business and getting a degree in it. And then I was like, okay, well, I think I want to master it. So that just pushed me to go get the master's degree. And not only that, I wanted to be a positive example for my son because his father was murdered when he was 2. So
Hmm.
I wanted to set the tone for him and show him, I'm a single mother. If I can do it, you can do it. So
Absolutely.
that's the basis of any degree that I have.
Okay, wow. And working on, multiple doctorates, we won't even go into it, but just say that she wears many hats and very ambitious. You touched on a subject and, you brought up our dear friend that passed. And,
Mhm.
how was that experience for you? At that time, losing, the father of your child and then having to raise your son pretty much on your own.
Um, I don't know how to put it into words. I was kind of horrified because, you're thrown into parenthood by yourself alone. But I've been very blessed because my son has some spectacular aunties that, stepped in and spent time and shedded tears. And we just, we've done this, together, hand in hand at some times. And it was very hard, very difficult, becoming a single parent and having to explain as your child gets older, you know, where their father is and what happened to him, those type things. But I'm proud to say that I have a very brilliant young man that's getting ready to enter into the world and venture off on his own.
Right. And I'm very proud of him as well. And how does he, you know, deal with, not having his father and seeing how much you pushed, to be where you are today and, setting, basically, the footsteps for him to follow in. How do you feel that it related to him?
Um, I think it's encouraged him, to see that, to see my personal growth as, a parent and to see the challenges and the difficulties that I've had to face, and I've, persevered, overcame things, and I know that he reflects on his father, and he asks questions, periodically, about his dad. So I think that he's coped, and we've handled it the best way that we possibly could have.
Okay. So, I don't like to elaborate too much around this topic. However, unfortunately, we lost yet another family member on last night. So my family is going through it, and, talking about spirituality, talking about, death and so forth. I know that a part of your life, you have a gift, and,
Mhm.
I know you shared with many, a select few, I should say, about your encounters, and how did that play a huge part on your journey?
Well, it played a very huge part, because growing up as a child, being able to see things that regular, quote unquote, everyday people can't see, or being aware of certain things, it makes you different, because people see you differently, they view you differently, and most people fear what they don't understand. So it was difficult at first, but then when I just came into my womanhood, I guess, and accepted myself for who I am as I am, it didn't really matter what other people thought. It didn't matter how they felt. Um, and it has not stunted my growth. It's helped me grow.
Mm. So you feel that it stunted your growth?
No, I said it hasn't stunted my
Oh,
growth.
okay. I was like, let me rephrase that, because I'm like, I don't think it's stunted your growth, but that's just my personal opinion. So with that, um, are you still able to see?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you know, I'm crying because I know, it comes into everything that you're doing. Is that how you came into the name, the Vision Goddess? How did that come
Um,
about?
it just came to me one day, because I like to look at myself as a visionary, and I like to help people visualize the things that they want in their life. You speak it, believe it, receive it. And you have to be able to see it. You have to see yourself in that space. So just one day I was like, you know what? Trying to figure out what I was going to call myself. And it just came to me, the Vision Goddess. So it stuck.
Okay, I know the Vision Goddess. You know, are you? I know that a part of your spiritual journey, and I'm pushing a little bit. You've done Reiki. I know that you do tarot and different things like that. Um, how has that helped people that that you have come across or speak to on a regular basis?
Well, with the Reiki, they just started offering that in the cancer treatment centers of America to help people who are going through chemo and radiation. So I've always been a person that was interested in hands-on healing. So, Reiki is no different. You're just channeling the energy around you to specific places in people's bodies to help them heal themselves. And I do the cards, but I don't do the tarot cards. I do oracle cards,
Oracle. It's okay.
which are always a positive outcome. It's just geared that way. So it's just a part of who I am.
Okay. And
That's that's
how does that tap into coloring outside the lines? because you have a huge platform that people literally wake up every morning to get these messages to get on with their daily routine. I've seen so many people giving testimonies, and sometimes you do a little bit of a live for them. So I want to, you to speak to my audience and let them know about coloring outside the lines, and how that helps people daily.
I started coloring outside of the lines because I wanted people to know that we don't always fit into this box that society has created for us. And I wanted people to get a sense of spirituality, because it's people from every denomination inside my group. It's people who don't, believe in a higher being, or God. But I wanted people to be able to have something positive given to them each day, because some of us, we walk through life and not a kind word is spoken to us. So that was my purpose for creating the group. And then it just evolved into this, it took on a whole nother life of itself. So
Wow, that's amazing. So, I want to pretty much, go to commercial break to hear a few words from our sponsor. And, we're going to tap back in to hear how that platform has elevated, and you are now actually practicing as a reverend. And I want you to tell, the viewers a little bit about that. And when we come back, we're going to delve in a little bit more with Dr. Williams to see what it is she has coming up, because we know we all have our intentions and our goals, and we just want to tap in with you to see what the journey is going to be like in the near future. So, this is Michelle Diamond again with In the Media House Call, and we are with Dr. Reverend Colette Williams, and we'll be back in a few moments. Here's a few words from our sponsor.
Snow Black now available. Snow Black, someone's going to play. In the House Media, and now back to our program.
Okay, welcome back. We have Dr. Reverend Williams with us. And this is your host, Michelle Diamond in the Media House Call. And we left off, if you're just joining us, where, Dr. Williams basically told us a little bit about, her journey to the present, to the here and now, and, talks about, being able to see she has a gift, and how she has turned all the negatives or the boulders that were thrown at her, and basically made them into positive. She turned those things into diamonds. Okay? So we just, we like to hear how women, are able to elevate through hardships, and how important it is that everyone understands that, life is a journey and we all go through, because there's so many people out there that feel that they're all alone. And with your platform, the Coloring Outside the Lines, I believe that that is an amazing platform where people come and, sometimes vent, and then just sometimes come and get, some spirituality, some upliftment. And, how important is it for you to keep coloring outside the lines going?
it's very important to me, because it's you touch people's lives without touching their life. It just gives them something positive to look forward to, something to a positive word to hear. And I try to pop in from time to time. I'm not one of those people who runs a group and you got to see my face 24/7. I just, periodically, pop in. I just started doing a Zoom call on Wednesdays at 7 to try to help people, map out their vision, and try to get the things that they want in life.
Amazing. That's great. So now that you have the Zoom calls going, um, I know that you have so much in the motion. We talked about, your new ministry, being so let us know about that. Like, what is the experience like, being a reverend, and, you know, tell us what it is you exactly do and how people can tap into that service as well.
Well, I'm into doing spiritual counseling, offering the Reiki. I marry people. I'm not one of those reverends that's got to get all up in your business just because you want to get married. I feel like love is love, and people should be able to get married and share it and experience it without somebody telling them, oh, you gotta, do A, B, C, D, E, F, G before I'll marry you. I'm not one of those people. I feel that we're all adults. We know what we want when we want it. So why not?
So
So
true. Okay.
that's my take on that.
So, with everything that you have going on, you have a huge, huge platform. Your brand is amazing. I love it. I'm a follower, I'm a huge supporter. And I know that you also have some things, on the calendar. Tell us about, the upcoming plans, hint, hint, the retreats and things like that. Let the people know what it is you're trying to plan or formulate for them.
I want to do some spiritual retreats where people can come and get a sense of spirituality and well-being, get your mental game together and get in it, and just for people to come together and have an outlet of just straight up positivity. My mom used to always say, God will always have a ram in the bush for you. So I want to be that ram. I want to create an environment where people will have that ram in the bush, to help them navigate and figure some things out. Because life shouldn't be hard. We just, have to trust the process.
That is true. And trusting the process. How can people contact you if they need to? Can you please share with the audience?
Yes, I can be reached at the Vision Goddess .com. Soon to be up and running, but I have the Vision Goddess at Gmail. I have Rev C Williams at Gmail, and you can also reach me on LinkedIn, Reverend Colette Williams. I'm on Instagram, the Vision Goddess, um, and then I'm also on Facebook as Colette Williams.
Okay, awesome. That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that with the audience. And of course, we will refresh them before we leave. And, I just want to say that everything that you have done, and just to reiterate, because we've already went over that, for anyone just tapping in, being a single mom, growing up, in a Baptist church and having, to experience certain things and, coming out, as you stated, being a lesbian and having to deal with that with the family and so forth. How were you able to maintain your mental health through all of that?
I'm not gonna say it's been a walk in the park. I'm human, just like anyone else. I'm human, just like anyone else. But I had to learn to go back to the things that my mom instilled in me. Just trusting the process and um, knowing that my higher self will always do and speak to me for whatever the greater good of myself is.
Hmm, very nice. So, what does in service to mankind mean to you?
To be of service means to me that I am willing to help my fellow sister, my brothers. I'm willing to aid. I'm willing to be an ear to listen. I'm willing to be a shoulder to cry on. I'm willing to be an information bank if they are seeking something and can't find it for themselves. I'm just willing to be of service and help in any way that I can.
That's amazing. Well, we appreciate you sharing that with us. It's definitely a battle, um, you know, dealing with trials. And of course, we don't want to repeat the same things that cycles, through family, the generational curses. And, you know, what is your thought on that, generational curses?
I think that if you keep speaking something to yourself, then you make yourself believe it, then you'll keep repeating it. Because whatever you speak, you believe, that's what you're going to receive, be it positive or negative. So if you have a negative belief and you keep repeating it to yourself, and then for the next generation this after you, they heard you say it, they keep repeating it to themselves, and guess what? You keep repeating the same lesson because nobody's learned to
Hmm.
do something different.
Very deep. Now, those words of, wisdom, is this a part of your system, the vision system, and helping people to get on the right track? Or is that something that they can expect, these types of encouragement, or just, listening to somebody that understands because they've been through it? Because I would love to just send it out there so that people know, hey, hit up Dr. Williams. She has this program for you that's going to get you back on the right track. I mean, it's been crazy, especially dealing with the pandemic. And the reason why I said that, I'm referencing this, um, mental health and dealing with generational curses, especially during the pandemic, I found to be a lot or heavy for a lot of people. So tell me how you coped through the pandemic and why it's very important to have that balance to know when, you're not okay.
Well, first, I like for people to understand that it's okay to not be okay. That's okay. You don't have to be afraid to say, hey, I'm not okay. I need to talk to somebody. That's perfectly okay. If you need help, step out there and seek it. But as far as me personally going through the pandemic, I went through a period of time where I had to learn to be comfortable being alone because I was raised in a house filled with people. So I had never been by myself. So when my son and I started on this journey, just the two of us, it was a tough pill to swallow to be in a big empty house, just he and I. And most of the time, just me by myself because, kids have their own things that they're focused on. So I had to learn to be comfortable being by myself and being alone. And I think that a lot of people are somewhat struggling during this pandemic because they're not comfortable being by themselves alone. So you have to, dig deep and into yourself and ask the question, why? Why am I so uncomfortable with being by myself? Because a lot of people are at home because of the pandemic, and it's like the pandemic is non-existent to them because they're safe inside their homes, but they're so unhappy. So you have to ask yourself, why am I so unhappy being alone? Because your personal living space should be peace for you.
Yes. How important is peace?
It's very important. Peace is vital.
And
If you,
why do you say that? Let us know.
because without peace, you don't have balance. You have to have some sense of peace. Most people that I've encountered that are, mean and I will say mean spirited or moody, something is out of balance. They don't have peace. And
Mm,
it's up to the individual to figure out why.
that is true. That is very true. So, I found through my journey that peace begins with, like you said, spending time with yourself, learning who you are, and loving that reflection in the mirror.
Mhm.
Peace in its sense begins within. And, if you're not at peace within, how can you truly love yourself? And then how can you share love if you don't even have love for yourself? So, I learned that the hard way. And I believe that's a part of what, a lot of people are missing. And then, we have the unfortunate situations, of course, going referencing back to the pandemic, where, some people are introverts, some are extroverts, and there's the in between. And the pronunciation, I think it was herbivore, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay.
Something like
So
that.
if that is the case, you know, I believe that we're going to have a lot of problems when everything goes back to some sort or sense of normalcy, because the introverts are itching to, the extroverts are itching to get back out there. And then the introverts are like, I like my peace and my solitude.
Right.
So, and so it's like, I believe there's going to be a little bit of a struggle once some sense of normalcy returns, because even though a lot of things are still open, we know that there are so many things that are still at stake. What is your thought on that? Do you think it's going to be a bigger problem, or it's something that, if treated correctly, can be combated?
I think that if people just learn to be self-aware, know that for every action there's a reaction, be it good or bad, and there's always a means to an end. So if you're that person that's itching to get out and you just hit the ground running, wild out there, you might hit the wall. So you have to learn to create balance within yourself, because if you start to work on yourself first, then it automatically works its way from the inside out. I don't know if you answered the question.
Oh, yeah. No, it does in a sense, because regardless of the circumstance, being an introvert, you know, you want to spend time alone, but then there's a reason why you tend
Right.
to want to be alone. And then the extrovert, there's a defining factor. Why is it you feel that you always have to be in the scene, or, in the public's eye? So, I believe in happy medium, a little bit of everything. So, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see. But, you know, taking it back a little bit, what would you say to your younger self?
Ooh. What would I say to my younger self? Find your peace and find it fast,
Ooh,
and trust the process.
that's good. So, for those young girls out there, or any of the viewers that were inspired by your story, and they too want to further their education, or even get into the metaphysical and spirituality, what advice would you give them on taking the steps to get there?
I would say if that's what your first mind is telling you that you should be doing, then you should always follow your first mind, because your higher self will never steer you wrong. It's only when we allow outside voices or we second guess ourselves when we get steered wrong. So I would say follow your first mind, and don't be afraid to try something.
Hmm, that's sweet. And with that, it's just so much. What can we expect from you, in the near future?
Um, I'm going to say workbooks, workshops, spiritual retreats. those type things.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's definitely been an absolute pleasure. We want to stay tapped all the way in, you know, and just follow your amazing journey. You are definitely an inspiration to many, and I would love for my viewers to be able to tap in to, that energy and, feel how everybody else is feeling and just, get the proper guidance, into spirituality. I can't speak right now, but into spirituality and, just learning that everything takes time and if you truly love something, like you said, follow your first mind and don't listen to the naysayers. So again, Dr. / Reverend C. Williams, can you please share with the audience again where we can find your beautiful self?
I'm on LinkedIn as Reverend Colette Williams. I am on Instagram as the Vision Goddess. I am on Facebook as Colette Williams. And I'm also on Facebook in my group Coloring Outside the Lines.
Amazing. Well, we want to say thank you on the behalf of the entire In the House Media family, as well as our sponsors and partner, Sapphire Emerald Magazine. We appreciate you stopping in and allowing us to tap into your journey. And we are going to be following up with you to see where all this good stuff is because I'm going to be at the retreat. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Look, I have to see a man about a master plan. Okay. Look. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is your host again, Michelle Diamond and Dr. Reverend C. Williams at In the House Media House Call. And we'll see you next time.